Yeah.
That was the last straw for me. Facebook Live.
Yeah. In.
That doesn't mean
To be continued.
Yeah.
So, this is pretty cool. I came here early thinking it was going to take me forever.
It fucking did.
It kind of did. But once I plugged in the cameras, like, poof, they're all there. They remember the settings from last time.
See, I don't. Are you joking?
No.
Like it did? Of course not. Yeah. Yeah. I believe him. Yeah.
Well,
Nobody ever believes me.
it takes a while to set up all this stuff.
Oh yeah. I dig that. Yeah.
I wrestled with these connections last time.
Yeah.
And they were right there waiting for me when I turned it on this time. So that was nice.
I think we found the formula.
Yeah.
Yes.
The formula magique.
Yes. So,
What episode is this? 61?
this is
69.
60. I can't wait for that one.
That's what Mike
That one is going to be
every episode.
full on full frontal.
Oh,
Yeah.
full
Yeah.
frontal
Yeah. Yeah. The
full
for title
dismantle.
consideration. Maybe
Wine Me
it's too
Dime Me,
soon.
69 Me. Can't wait.
Too
This
soon.
year I was born. That's the year I was born. Come on.
Yes. All right. So, good morning. This is SlapperCast episode number 61. And here we are, the very second full video episode of SlapperCast. Yeah.
True.
So, pretty cool.
I think it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't.
It did pretty well on YouTube, the first episode.
Excellent.
But it did, from the numbers, at least as far as I can tell, it did almost just as well as the audio version does normally. Cool. So just for starters, it's not bad. So
It's a good way for folks to see us.
yeah.
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 I don't know how. Just it should be a warning, like a parental guidance warning at the beginning. Don't watch with food. Don't watch if you're pregnant. Don't watch if you're.
The kids in the room. At least my hair's, I got pretty good hair day today, though. I'm going to say that. My hair looking pretty good, even though it's as long and shaggy as it
Me
is.
too.
There you go. There we go. Speaking of 80s,
Yeah.
80s stuff. Yeah.
Simply Red.
Yeah. Oh, God. How boring is that band?
Simply Red.
Yeah.
They had the one hit, right?
Well, it was a ballad.
Yeah.
What? How, you can't have a career like that. And so I think the thing about Simply Red was too, they were kind of, obviously there was that weird part of the 80s where anybody that had any sort of musical ability was getting signed or at least had a video. And I think The Commitments is to blame for that. That movie, The Commitments.
Yeah.
I think they're to blame for a lot of that stuff coming from maybe from that side of the country, that side of the world. I think Simply Red was trying to be like a Commitments kind of band, like that kind of blue-eyed,
Really?
red-haired soul thing.
Huh.
But they came across as just boring as fuck.
I thought he was just trying to get into with a hairdresser and make an appointment. Or
Well,
something.
there's that too. But
That was
I mean,
is that a dead squirrel on your head?
definitely had a look of that. But yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
so
good voice though. He had a good voice.
Yeah.
I didn't like the music.
No.
He had a good voice. Which is like we were talking about Depressed Toad or Human League. We were doing down. I mean, that guy, I don't think had a great voice. It was very distinctive, but it always sounded to me like it was bordering on tone deaf. You were working as a waitress in a cocktail bar. It always seemed like it was just skating. It was in tune, but it was skating on that line. That's what the way it seemed.
Well,
to me.
even the girl's voice wasn't that great.
Oh,
either.
hers was terrible.
Yeah.
But
There's an interesting thing behind that band because that guy, that story. I need to go read it. It's been a while since I've read about this, but the whole success of that band was really him pushing it. That dude, I forget what his name is, but he really wasn't a musician. That guy, I forget. That's one of the reasons why he had kind of an amateurish singing voice, which is kind of charming in a way. But they almost none of, I think maybe the keyboardist, the two main members were him and the guy who plays keyboards. The keyboardist was obviously a musician. And, but
he owned a keyboard. So.
Yeah, but they would, right.
that was bad.
Thank you.
But the vocalists, I think, were girls. I think they just met outside the studio. I can't remember.
She was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar.
There's some weird kind of coincidental thing that happened that has to do with why those two chicks were in the band. But that guy was a workhorse. I mean, he really the whole success of the band was really his just work ethic and everything. It was kind of a neat story in that band.
Well, they had a couple hits. I mean, they weren't, at least they weren't a one-hit wonder. They had a couple hits that people seem to enjoy.
Yeah.
Especially in the dance clubs.
Yeah, which I would never be allowed in, but they told me good things. Well, if you've seen me dance, you'd understand.
Well, I mean, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just said it.
Yeah.
All right, edit.
Tangent.
So how's y'all's week been so far?
In fucking doors.
It's crazy.
Like it.
Yeah.
About the same, I guess.
Any stir crazy?
A little bit.
A bit.
Yeah.
What we were just saying, Patrick's son Connor was just in here and was asking how I was doing, and
That's who that was.
before I could answer, Patrick says his life's exactly the same. Leave him alone, because I don't really go out. The only difference between my life now and before is, we're not playing shows, basically.
Yeah.
And I can't go to dinner with my mom now, which was part of my weekly routine as well.
Yeah, that sucks.
Do you virtual
dinner? You could do that.
No, what we do is we talk on the phone every day, but I go every now and then. She cooks, and I'll like I mentioned on the show before, she'll do the porch drop of the food.
Yeah, nice. Awesome.
So we'll talk from like 10 feet away from each other now when I'm there. So at least I get to see her face, but we don't get very close to each other. But she's doing fine. Her friend Kay is doing fine as well as James Edwards' mom.
Good to hear.
Previous drummer in the band, for those of you who don't know. They live like 2 blocks away from each other, so they're kind of looking out for each other right now. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, Judy's always going to land on her feet. She's a wonder. She's a Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's incredible. I spoke to my mother in Ireland, and she is indoors and she's staying indoors, and my brother and his family and my sister and her husband are looking after her and bringing her what she needs. So she's not leaving, and she's quite happy with that. She's got a little whiskey. She's got a little movies on a thing, and she's just happy as Larry. Can't be
good.
Yeah, so she's in good form. She's asked for everybody too. She's been enjoying the podcasts and the live streams. And I have to say, this is probably going to take us in a whole new direction, but I have to say the generosity and we know how generous. Every band says that they're fans and their friends and their family are the best. No way. They're not even close to ours. That's just how it is. Just get used to it. Cut, print. That's it. And we have been so lucky with the response that we've got and the generosity and I cannot get over how incredibly gracious and wonderful and generous and just the feedback, everything that I've got from this, just thank you. We can, and also, again, tangent time, but they're thanking the doctors and the nurses, especially the nurses, thanking them, and all the first responders, and we see the cops still out there doing their job, and the firefighters and the all our friends at HEB and stuff, working their ass off, to make sure that, the lines run right and everybody gets their stuff. And, I was at CVS trying to get my inhalers, and the people behind the counter are just being crushed. And I literally, figuratively, mentally, everything, they're just being overrun. The phones are going crazy because everybody is so there's such a heightened alert system, or everybody's faces, and that they're driving and they're walking and they're talking tells a tale. There's so much going on, but for all the people that are just doing their regular daily lives and working, and people that have volunteered to help and to just the food banks, all these people, just there's not enough words and there's not enough money and gratitude and stuff on the planet to say thank you to all these people. But I know we've all been just blown away by the human nature is it's such a giving. People are so giving, and it's blowing me away, as you can tell. I can't put into words, because there are no words for the the people that have just been so generous and so giving of themselves and to put themselves in the line of fire like that, you know, it says, from what, you know, as little as it means, it just, you know, all our thanks to all these people doing such an amazing, you know, amazing job, and our friends too, from keeping us afloat and helping us to do this stuff, and, you know, sharing it, requesting it, and keeping us doing it, you know, because I was never a fan of the acoustic stuff ever until now.
Turn the tables.
I'm still not I can't say, you know, give me a you know, stage with amps and, you know,
of course,
but, you know, I'll do that 100 times out of 10, but the acoustic thing, I've had more fun, you know. It hasn't been fun listening to some of the vocals because I was telling Chad I didn't listen to what was going out, so you're kind of overcompensating for volume and kind of makes you sing a little bit sharp, and so I was like, "Ooh, take two, do it again." But at the same time, so much fun, and the generosity and the skill of Jeff Duncan to come in and I throw all that stuff out there just because this is such a unique time, and it's such a strange time, and it's hopefully the last time we'll ever see this shit again. But
at least not, you know, this is the last time we'll see it so poorly, you know, poorly managed. Yeah.
Yes.
Because we clearly were not prepared for this. The world was not prepared for this. Some countries more than others, I guess, but yeah, anyway. Yeah. It's crazy to think that, talking about all the people working at the grocery stores and everything, that they're essentially like, you know, frontline, you know, almost like first responders in a way, because they're exposed, and it kills me. I'm happy that HEB has these sneeze guards or stuff. You know, all the cashiers have these plastic plexiglass.
Oh, I haven't even
things.
seen it. I was in the store today. I didn't even see that.
The pharmacy people and that have this guard there now, so they're at least a little protected. But all the guys who are out pushing the carts around and bagging groceries and stocking stuff, they don't have any face protection whatsoever, and it really bugs me. But and especially now that we've had all this conflicting information. At first, everybody was saying, the administration and experts were saying, masks, who needs them? You know, the masks are dumb. They're not going to help you. But now they're saying, face protection, any kind of face protection, you know, go ahead and wear them.
Well, California just did that this week. They said any kind of, if you go out, we recommend you put something over your face. Yeah. So people out there with bandanas over their faces and all kinds of
not whatever. To protect themselves, but to protect others from what you're expelling. I mean, I guess I can see how that would work, and I understand. But the you know, like I said on the last show too, running, running is now an obstacle course because you have to find a new path when you see especially the groups of people. Yeah. From, you know, because you can just see, well, you've seen it in a sunny room before, somebody sneezes and you've seen that confetti of moisture just, you know, just basically fill up that entire space of, you know, so when you're sweating and you're running and you're jumping and you're moving at that pace, and the cyclists and the dogs and the cats and the air, the pollen, all that stuff, just mind blowing on how it. And again, I don't know how much will be cut down. This probably needs to be edited out of the program, but I can sweat underwater. No, you know, so. When I run, I can just imagine what's coming off because I you know, my arms sweat, it's just, it's filthy. I'm like an animal. I need to run in a plastic bag. Note to self. But
you're in the big bubble thing, just roll down the hill.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, the mask thing too. I mean, the covering up faces. I really think that people should be conscious of what they're actually using to cover their faces. So if you're buying like medical masks, don't do that. If you buy medical masks, donate it to the people that really need them. If you're going outside, just a bandana or kerchief or something. You know, you don't need to be buying medical grade stuff like that. That's for the people.
I have
that really
some old
need it.
chloroform flavored. I shouldn't say that.
Some more chloroform?
Yeah. I used to back when I used to
I dig it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No hanky somewhere.
Yeah.
You can just tie it on, tape it on.
My friend Bill Cosby was the one that turned me on to that. The mask thing definitely. We were talking to, of course, the beautiful Casey Duncan. She's a surgeon, and their supplies are zero. This time last week we were talking to her, and she says that their supplies are, they're using the same face mask over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. That's just not right for, people that are putting themselves in the line of fire. Mm-hmm. It's.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of pictures too from healthcare nurses and so forth with bruises on their face from having that stuff.
Yeah, they're wearing it for so long.
Yeah, and also and a special thanks to them. The ones that are doing this and they're just getting on with their life. Because I've seen, we see it probably, I don't know, more than anybody. I don't know, but we see the hey, me over here, and they'll on their social media stuff, and they'll put the picture of the or that frame, and we are all France, or we are, and they put the French flag on there when when the shooting happens, and it's just basically, and it was, I think it was Anthony Jeselnik that said, they're not doing anything for the cause. They're just saying, don't forget about me on the thing. I just want to say the biggest thanks, and give the biggest thanks to the people that are just going out there. They're just doing their job. I see the cops out here, and they're not protected, and they have to, now I think their biggest obstacle is domestic disputes. And they're gonna, and they have to, again, go in unarmed. Well, I mean, without
figuratively,
people, but go into these places, and you just don't know. Mm-hmm. And then the other wankers that are out doing their daily lives because they think it's a hoax, or because they think it's a, so these people are just, they deserve. Somebody said that they deserve a parade. They deserve everything, because talk about selfless. Talk about people that are doing their, giving it everything, and risking everything too. So because that they're going home to their families and bringing back whatever they. Endless. So hopefully we're at the we're on the downward slide of this, and we'll be out of it soon. And
apparently, recent things I've heard, that the governor of California announced yesterday that the growth of new cases and so forth is starting to decrease, or at least the rate is starting to decrease. It's still going up, but it's slower. The rate is slowing down, and there's signs of the numbers in New York State that it's starting to level off. So, and those, at least New York City in particular, I think it was New York State too. I'm not sure. I think it's mainly New York City, got hit obviously really, really hard.
Sure.
Which makes sense because it's such a densely populated city.
Oh, yeah.
All those people in the subways and the buses and so forth. But apparently that's starting to level off there now. So that's a beginning of a good thing.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Finally, the governor of Florida finally, he's not alone. There's still some states that haven't done it to issue a stay-at-home order. He did it a few days ago, and I think Governor Abbott here did it the day before, statewide. So finally,
well, we're taping before Tuesday, so we don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
today.
It's true. Yeah, this is
we may be regurgitating all these, So
this is Saturday, by the way, in case you're curious about what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're doing our part too. We haven't. We're staying away and doing our thing, but yes. So there's nothing on the. I think the latest thing to cancel was we had a Midwest and an East Coast thing in May, and we got the final cancellation from that too. So that's off, and I don't know if June is even going to be on the cards. I think we should start an online casino, and we'll be taking bets when we can get back on the road.
Yeah. I think it seems highly unlikely we're going to be able to tour this year. Just not even if the the quarantine stuff is lifted. It just seems like it's going to take a while before but we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Before places are
Yeah.
really ready to get back into business and so forth.
Yeah. That's so we've spoken about this before as well, but I mean, have you, I know it's all we think about, but do you have any predictions for what the nightlife is going to be once again, we're saying how long is a piece of string, but if you were to guess, say June, July, lifted, just, back to normal, whatever the hell normal is. But if you were to guess, if you were to take, I'm, typically I'm not a gambling person, but if you had to make a stab at it, what would your, Saturday night in July when it's lifted, what would it look like in a town like Houston?
Whew. I go ahead, Chad.
I think it's going to be a slow. I mean, there's definitely people who are dying to get back, who will just be there, like yes, and just partying like nothing has changed. But I think we may see some strange behaviors, like people wearing masks in the bars, maybe drinking beer out of straws or some strange stuff like that, bringing their own straws. I don't know,
possibly. I think that if someone says, okay, on July 15th, this is just hypothetical, of course, so don't get excited, but say July 15th, all bars and restaurants can open. I think it's going to be, like Chaz, it's going to be a very much gradual, people kind of creeping out of their houses, like, is it okay kind of a thing. And as far as live music goes, I know that every band is going to be excited to get back out and do it again, but I really think that it's going to take a minimum of 30 days for every bar to kind of get back into shape, back into a place where they can actually be able to offer any band any kind of money. I think, because they might be training new staff because people might have left and gone to do something else. They may be working on, getting their distributors back in line, and they may be working on a very limited amount of money that they can use to just open the doors, so, and they may only be open like, okay, we can only be open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or we're only open Friday and Saturday, so I think it's definitely going to be a gradual workup to getting us, back into playing somewhere. Yeah. But it's going to happen. It's just a question of, I don't know how long it's going to take.
Yeah. And there are certain things I think are probably not going to go away, like this thing with hand sanitizer being everywhere outside, the automated ones that are outside grocery stores right now.
Yeah.
That you hope are stocked when you get there. Sometimes they run out.
Well, when I went to the H-E-B over in Alabama to pick up, I ordered pickup there because that was the earliest of the ones that are in the area here. That was the earliest pickup. I forget, that was Wednesday. But I got there a little bit early, and I was curious because I wanted to see what the store looked like on the inside, if there was a line outside. And I walked up, and there was tape every 6 feet for people to stand. And when I got to the door, the guy said, wait a second, because there was somebody in there, and they ask you to sanitize. They have a hand sanitizing station as you walk in the door where the carts are. And they say, sanitize your hands, please. And you sanitize your hands. And they say, do you want a cart or do you want a basket? And then you tell them what you want, and then somebody's there hand wiping it down for you, and they hand it to you, and then you go in the store and do your thing.
Yeah, that's how it was at H-E-B, my local store. And
so I think you're right. I think there will be more hand sanitizing stations.
We'll see them outside bars too. I think
I believe you see them everywhere now.
Yeah,
people will be a little freaked out. They're gonna want to go out, but they're also going to be scared to go out. I think, and it's going to take a little bit of time.
And we're just going to have to get used to seeing people in face masks too. I think that's probably. I don't think it's going away.
Yeah,
I think it's here to stay.
I know a couple of people that could benefit from wearing your face mask.
Some of them are in this room right now.
Well, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a little different too. I think it's going to be, and I only thought of this. This wasn't prepared, but as you were giving your thought on what could and could not, what might not have. I was thinking this might be a like a New Year's, like an amateur night. This might be if you've ever worked in a bar, if you ever played in a bar on New Year's or Paddy's Day or any of the big drinking holidays, you'll see that the regulars subside and the people that never come out. The people that scream about drink prices and bitch about this and that. So they come out in force.
It's amateur hour.
Exactly. But that's what I mean. That's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be very, very busy. I think it's going to be very, very. It's going to make Caligula look like Sesame Street. It's going to.
That's maybe that's probably true.
Again, I'm just because of the way you were thinking, and again, not to be devil's advocate, just to in thinking, right? It's lifted. I think that the people that really didn't take it that seriously are going to go out, and then the people that think it's a hoax are going to go out. And I think the combination of that mixed with the few people that are, fuck it, let's go get a drink. I think it's going to be. Now again, it's not 7 nights a week, but I think 3 or 4, maybe.
You think it's going to be busy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is, but not with your regular punter, not with the ones that are going to go out and say, let's go out for a couple of drinks and a bite to eat. I'll tell you something though, and I wish I'd said this at the beginning. I thought this 100 times, but I hope people are paying attention to the restaurants, local restaurants, and like I said, fuck Starbucks, fuck Taco Bell, and all that shit. I hope that people are taking note of the restaurants that are, I say people are trying to make it and trying to get by and do, not price gouge or take advantage of the people that are eating out and trying to support them. I hope that everybody keeps a mental tally of who stayed open, who tried to keep open, tried to keep their employees working, tried to keep their business, pushing through in this horrific time.
Mm-hmm.
And when the doors do open again, that the general public remember those small businesses and go out and help those people, because that's the Henderson and Kane down here, and there's a couple of really good places around here, Urban Eats and stuff like that. We've, like I said, I hope the camera can take off some pounds, but I've just been eating like a fiend. Because let's help them today. And you go and you eat, but the quality of the food hasn't diminished. They didn't change the price, and they're putting their staff through the ringers. Which if you're making food for the public, you really should be hygienic anyway.
Yeah.
But they're really putting there. You can see the effort, the extra effort that they're putting in their product, so you can enjoy your food at home and you don't have to worry about, the people that are sick that have to go in to make a paycheck to live and blah blah blah.
Right.
They're really going above me. So I hope people are really taking stock of who's looking out for us, and
yeah, and think about all the retail places too, who really can't do anything.
Can't open.
Yeah, for a while, Cactus was trying to. I think they're still doing online orders, but they were trying to do curbside for a while, which is crazy to think, but people were doing it and, trying to help keep them afloat, but they can't do that. They can't even do that now. So,
no, I mean, a record shop, the 99% of the fun of going to a record shop is just going through the record. You can't, there's nothing on I couldn't find my Motorhead Another Perfect Day record the other day. We were talking about it. And I can't find it. And I want to go. I will not order it online. I don't want fucking Amazon bringing it to. I want to go to this shop.
Yeah.
I want to go to Cactus and look through this. And then you find some of the, but.
I almost called Thomas at Sig's Lagoon the other day, because we have the band's Rock of Ages Volume 1, which is a live album they did before the last waltz. And I was like, we could really, what would really be good? Rock of Ages Volume 2 to finish out the whole concert. I almost called Thomas to see if he had it, but I'm not quite sure what his situation is either. Because I knew that he was taking phone orders and email orders, and I think he was able to hand them over or somehow or leave them out for the person. I'm not sure what, but he might still be doing the same thing. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Sig's Lagoon and Cactus, the two places to get your. Yeah. I go see Quinn and the gang at Cactus just because they're we've had our records in there for forever.
Well, they have the stage and stuff like that.
Yeah. We've done that. Actually, we have to do that. We have to do that Cactus in store now.
We do,
because we have the new stuff. We got the we've got to get down there.
Yeah, the time has come. It's funny. The last time we did it, Jeff was with us as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Buckley couldn't make it.
Yeah. So So strange times is an understatement, and the new normal is yet to be unveiled. Yet to be unveiled.
That word.
The new
New
I
normal.
fucking hate those buzzwords, man. I hate that shit.
Why?
It's just like, because everyone says it. Every time you turn on anything, it's like, well, this is the new normal. Click. Well, this is the new normal. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your new normal. Anyway, I get it. I'm sorry to interrupt.
So many.
Yeah. Son of a bitch.
I'll just. This is the new normal. I'm not going to talk.
What?
That won't happen. So, yeah, I don't know what the new buzzwords are. Apparently, I stumbled upon one. So
Yeah. Jesus.
that's the.
Jesus.
But yeah, I mean, I'm dying to see what's going to happen. Because obviously, then we'll be playing. So that's the.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm
Really
really
fun to
looking
play
forward.
again. Like
Yeah.
drums.
Yeah,
I can play drums at home and it's fun, but it's no fun without you guys.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
I mean, I'm used to playing with myself.
Hey,
What?
Kid show, kid show.
Yeah. I had an old friend of mine
How old?
How old was he?
from high school. From high school.
70.
She wrote me on Facebook last night after I was posting about HEB.
Well,
Go ahead.
tell us more.
It's not like that. She's a friend. No, she's a dear old friend of mine, but she wrote me last night saying, you know, basically, long and short of it, like imploring me and thus us as a band to kind of fill the leadership vacuum that we have right now by setting an example. Because I was talking about going to the grocery store, and she says, you shouldn't be going to the grocery store. You know, you need to do curbside or pickup, basically, or just stock up enough that you don't have to go so often. And I was like, right. But it's just crazy that we're at that point. It's like, you know, I don't even want to get into it now because this is like it's going to start getting political, which is kind of hard to avoid right now. But
Say whatever.
Just say it. Just tell us.
Just
we just said
fucking say
that.
it.
Tell us.
I just felt. I mean, when she was saying that, she was right. It was like, but it's also I feel kind of weird thinking that people listen to us or you know look to us for opinion. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that that's falling down now on the shoulders of not just everybody. I mean, it's local leaders, it's mayors, it's stuff. Anybody who's in the public eye.
It should be, absolutely.
You know, and the thing I try to, because people have expressed concern about the fact that, you know, we're still all in the same room. We are essentially group quarantining because we don't have, like I was saying earlier, I don't have a life outside the band. That's always kind of been the case anyway. But we don't go anywhere, you know, but after talking to my friend last night, I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to, unless I have to pick up maybe you can do prescriptions curbside too.
Not where I am.
No?
Not I mean, it hasn't been offered.
But from now on, if I have to go into the store, I'm going to wear face protection.
Should.
But if I can get away with just doing curbside or delivery, that's what I'm going to do from now on until this thing clears up.
Yeah.
But
it's imperative that we do take every precaution.
yeah,
It's not an option, and it's not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're not in it for you, you have to be in it for the old lady that's behind, you know, or the, you know, somebody that's susceptible to be to picking up something. So I haven't been to a massage parlor in
Well, that's
8 hours.
We keep saying that, but we don't.
No,
We can't verify your whereabouts at any given moment.
that's exactly right.
yeah, I haven't thought about it. This is a really shitty time for people who do that type of massage or physical therapy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, all gone. Yep.
Jimbo.
No touchy.
Yeah.
Hope Jimbo's okay. Just thought of that.
Yeah, but it's everybody. It doesn't matter where. Now there are people that are working online that are, you know, fulfilling orders and music, you know, music equipment and whatnot, and so and it's funny because I'll see, you know, somebody saying, "Hey, I'm selling a guitar," and I say, "You might want to just hold on to that for a little bit." There's just not a lot of. I just don't see a lot of, you know, probably some really good deals right now to, but the to your point, I believe 100% with everything that's happening now. I think that everybody has to take it seriously. You know, you're never going to convince the idiot that there's a, the one that's saying it's a hoax and it's not a, it's just a flu and people are overreacting. You're never going to convince them. So fuck them. Don't even,
My mother.
But just in what we've done, we've already been, like we have been quarantining with the, here, your house, because that's what we were, we are staying at home. We are doing our part. Face masks and stuff. I do not own one. I hadn't, I ran yesterday and I hadn't thought to wear one. And if it would make other people feel better, I'd probably do it, but as it sits right now, we're not trying to say, everything's fine and do, go to the, I'm not hoarding. I'm not, we're like I said, we're eating out, and which means curbside pickup, and it's been wonderful, and it's been nice to know that these guys can at least keep the doors open. And again, this is only third week. It feels like,
it started on the 18th of March here anyway.
Yeah, so it feels like 2 months already. It feels like
a long time.
Yeah. So it's really, and again, we don't know if it's going to be the end of this month. We don't know if it's going to be the end of next month. We don't know. And that's the part that's just driving me crazy, in that, you're saying you want to get out and play again. I want to get out and play again. I want to get out and play yesterday. And, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And, and out of respect for the people on the front line, I mean, the nurses and the doctors and the cops and these people that are just in the line of fire, out of respect to them, I'm doing everything I can to, I don't go out. That's not like me. That's not I'm an outdoor dog. I don't like it in here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you should go outside. People should get outside, but do it safely,
Yeah.
If you're going to be around other people, I guess you need protection.
I think it's safe to go outside. I think it's safe to go places as long as you're not near anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get in the car and drive down to Galveston, do it, but don't get out of your car.
Yeah.
Or if you do, don't go near people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was saying at the beginning about running, it was an obstacle course in that you're trying to find a new path and you're trying to get away from these people, and you don't know you can't see what's airborne. You can't see what's in the proximity to what you're breathing in and what you're expelling. So I took my bicycle out the other day, and I went way the hell out there. And there was parts on the bike trail too, where there was just tons of foot traffic and bicycles, all kinds of stuff. And it's really hard to navigate that when you're, it's not a mountain bike. You're not able to jump the curb and off into the bushes and make your own trail. So there were parts in that, but I just wanted to be away from the trail because the weather has been so nice that being indoors is also torture. And I can run at night too. It's somebody once said to me, they go, "Are you not worried about running, 3 and 4 in the morning?" I go, if anybody looks at this and they say, "I want to take that home," the problem's
Come
there.
on with it.
The problem is with them. It's not. I mean, I love it. I love the nightlife. I love the boogie. I love the disco.
I didn't know you went running that late.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean,
David Beebe used to be the same way. He would roller skate or rollerblade at night.
I saw
urban
him
animal
before,
style. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
But it's again, when this all started back when I was bartending, and I'd get out at 4 o'clock in the morning, I would stop. And this was the insane part. You'll understand a little bit more now that why I have to run every day. But so we would bartend, and it was a place called the Outback Pub on Fountain View. And this was way, way, way back when bars were, when I say carefree, I mean, this is kind of like the 80s, it wasn't the 80s, but it was it's still the same mentality. You go out and you just drinks forever. There's the cocaine and the ecstasy and it's just all these things were just rampant at this time. And I assume they still are, but I would bartend, and I would go in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, And we would, on a Wednesday night, for instance, we would do 2-for-1 burgers and big ass beer, which means you buy the glass for $7.50 and refills were 75 cents or something like that. This is a 22-ounce Pilsner
Jesus.
of beer. And so we had lines out the building, and Wednesdays were our money day. And we just kill it on those days. And after we get out of there at 3 and 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I would stop at Memorial Park on my way home and run 3 miles and then go home. And after working these 12, 15-hour shifts, and so nighttime doesn't bother. And actually, the air, obviously you have the place to yourself. There's a couple of old people out there power walking and whatnot. And
Sure.
But maybe 20 people in the whole 3 mile path. But you had the whole place to yourself, and then every once in a while the cop car would drive by, just kind of watching over there. So I believe that you were safer then than you were at the regular time. But
Sure.
So nighttime running, and Houston is such a obviously enormous town, but it's because of our bayous and the amenities that we have just on the outskirts of town. When you're on the bayou, you've got no idea. There are places where you're just lost, and it looks like you're in the wilderness because there's nothing down there except, it's just, and it's nicely paved down there and whatnot now. But God, that was a long.
No, when I used to run, that was my preferred time. Was to be after dark.
Yeah,
and I'd sometimes go when it was really super late. Of course, I used, I was saying on a previous show, I used to go to the gym at 2 or 3 in the morning.
My preferred time to run is never.
Stop it.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you walk. You do the.
I do the
hikes.
walking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do a little bit of yoga once in a while. Do a
Oh,
little weight.
yeah.
Bang on the drum.
I tell you, that drumming, that's the best. That's the best exercise. I've got a kit in the attic.
I know you
And I'm
do.
telling you,
Yeah.
oh my God, I can let that. Neighbors don't like it so much.
Well,
They go, see,
just depends on when you play it, I guess.
yeah,
Anytime the neighbors don't like it.
yeah. Anytime it's a good.
Anytime they don't like it, anytime.
Sounds like he's tumble drying rocks up there.
Pushing the refrigerator down the stairs.
You mentioned earlier about people, if anybody's still calling it a hoax, to ignore him, whatever. Is there? Have you heard anybody who's still saying that now? It seems like even the biggest doubters are admitting that this is not fake.
I think that they're admitting it because they're not only in the minority. And again, I don't know. I can't name one person. I've seen the clip, and you've all seen the clips of the news stations that had been on saying it was a hoax, and now they're saying, no, we never said that. No, we
Right.
always. So you've seen those clips and whatnot. I just think what's happened is I think the naysayers have become it's not going to be for as long as they say it's going to be, but you just need to take a precaution now. They've come up a little bit on it, or come down whatever way. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say they've learned anything, which makes them an idiot. I just think that they're kind of conforming a little bit they're just leaning a little bit more into the fact that there is a pandemic, but it may not be the size that they would like. They would like the apocalyptic landscape to say, okay, now we'll now we'll heed the warnings. But again, I can't name one person. I can just you can usually tell by the tone of the be it if it's a commentator on a television or if it's somebody online that's saying because back before all this stuff happened, way before all this stuff happened, had a conversation with my sister, and we were talking about face masks because we would see a lot of people wearing face masks. And this is just in everyday life. And remember, this is before any kind of pandemic or any kind, but they would wear them. And these are I don't know what's medical grade and not. I didn't inspect the mask, nor even if I inspected it, could I tell you today what a medical mask looks like, or what define. So, but we would laugh about it because essentially it was doing no good for for if you're trying to escape the pollen, or if you're trying to escape, you're getting that stuff in through your eyes. You're getting that stuff in through. Yeah. So we would joke about that stuff now. So back then, but now with the like we were talking about, just keeping your own stuff at bay. Keeping your own stuff. I can see how that would be it would be beneficial to walking even 7, 8, 10 feet past old people who are very susceptible to
right. That's the thing, is like everybody would have to do it in order for it to make a difference.
Yeah.
If to keep their own stuff.
Yeah.
Because they said that from the beginning. It's like at best it's going to keep your germs from spreading, but it's not necessarily going to keep you safe. But if everybody does it, that might be better. But somebody's going to have to. Somebody's going to have to issue a law to make that happen. And of course, there's no, it's just so crazy that they're saying, oh yeah, wear a mask now, but there are no masks. So it's like, just make your own. It'll be fine. Like, come on. It's just crazy. There was footage of like a time lapse footage of a Chinese health worker in China putting on all his PPE gear, personal protection equipment. Keep hearing this phrase, PPE. And it's like, it's like layer after layer. At the end of it, was basically like he was in a spacesuit. I mean, just completely shut off from outside here. And the American healthcare workers don't have anything close to that now. And it's because there's nothing available. There's nothing there. So again, I don't know we talked about this, but that's the thing about this whole thing that just horrifies me more than anything. It's like, this is completely inexcusable. But so yeah, just wear scarves, people. It'll be fine. I hate it that it's come to that now. But I really hope. I know that there's efforts now to try to get they're using the War Production Act, whatever that's called, to commandeer some manufacturing companies.
I think companies have a social conscience. They should just do it on their own.
I agree.
New Balance did that. New Balance is the sneaker company is making some kind of medical. I think it's a medical grade mask. Mm-hmm. They just said, we're just doing it because we think this is important right now. Shoes, we'll still make shoes, but we have to make these masks right now.
I think there's some distilleries who are making hand
Jameson's is making
right?
hand sanitizer for the folks in Ireland. Yeah.
That's great.
And so I follow Jameson's on Instagram, and some jackass from America said, can me and my husband get 2 bottles so we can collect them? And they were super political about it. They said, we're only making them for our first responders in Ireland.
Yeah.
They're not available to the public. But just the audacity of someone to say, "Oh, Jameson's is making this hand sanitizer. We should get some and put it in our." Fuck you, people. Fuck you, people.
Me. Don't forget
that's
about
that kind
me
of mentality.
in this crisis.
There's that kind of mentality that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Like whatever. It's fine.
I wonder if Jameson was thinking about us when they did that.
Exactly. Yeah.
No. Yeah, that's
It doesn't say Jameson's on the bottle.
Yeah.
I think it says, whatever grade hand sanitizer this is, and like I said, they're giving it to the people that really need it. If you're sitting at home in Michigan and you like Jameson, yay. But don't expect them to fucking send you a bottle just because you I mean, it's so asinine.
Yeah.
People are terrible.
Yeah. But I think there is a good, if you can, to entice people to use the stuff too, that might actually be one way to do it is to make, you have these face masks that I see a lot of women wearing the ones that have kind of fun patterns on them and stuff, to make it more appealing to them.
It's fun.
That's great. Yeah. So, but some people may get more excited about hand sanitizer if it has a Jameson label on it.
Just use what you have.
If if that's the difference between you using it and not using it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, don't ask for a fucking. I mean, I get what you're saying.
No, yeah,
I understand what you're saying, but just the stupidity of like asking for it because like you just said me.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be quaint to have that.
Yeah,
that's not the whole purpose. It's not to be quaint. It's to save people's lives.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm kind of thinking past the current situation to what the shape of things might look like.
When this thing is over, they better get back to making whiskey. That's all I can say.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that hand sanitizer.
Put that foot down.
And again, that might be something that continues to happen. Like a lot of companies who previously weren't making it will probably continue to make it. And
Probably should.
as long as it's widely available and people, if you have to put a freaking logo on it to make it more appealing for people to actually buy it and use it, do it. So I think that part of it is cool. But yeah, I agree. Don't get it if you don't really need it just because it has a brand name on it.
Well, go wash your hands.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, this has been depressing.
I don't know. There's really, you have that time, you have that spare time now. You're stuck in your house, and you have spare time to write some music and that's been happening. It's just like you said. It's the outlook is so grim because there is no end date. There's no. Tick this box in the calendar, and then we'll
make it.
Yeah. We know we'll get through it. We know we'll get. We know that we're going to, meet the challenge, but if you can use this time to better your life or better somebody else's or come up with something. I mean, I just hope that this moment doesn't pass and people look back and say, if only I had made those masks or made that, done something, instead of sitting around and, waiting for time to pass, if you can really dig in and just make something happen, just,
That's true. I mean, it's true. It's like I think Americans as a whole, we sort of, and I say we, being obviously very general, not meaning the three of us, but we as a country tend to romanticize or even brag about how busy we are. We're always busy doing something, and the reality of it is, a lot of times we're busy doing nothing. And this is a prime example of a time where we're not really as busy as we once were. Maybe some of us are working from home. Kids are not going to school. Kids are going to school online. From what I've heard from a lot of my students, they basically get assignments and they do the assignment. And they're not really spending like 8 hours in classrooms. And some parents aren't working at all. So now is a great time to, homeschool your kids or start that project you've always wanted to, or, I don't know, be creative in a way that you thought you couldn't do it before. There's plenty of stuff you can find online to teach you how to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think YouTube is the best teacher or any of that kind of stuff is the best teacher, but it's the best of what we got right now.
Yeah.
So why not do that? A lot of my friends are offering, drum lessons online and stuff like that. And that's great. It's a way for them to get some income, and it's a way for them to share their ideas. And I think that's good for them.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. Fuck that. I'm kidding, of course.
Yeah, it is a time to make the best of yourself. I would put personal health first, meaning use this time to catch up on some sleep, or use this time to introduce a healthier thing.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name. Just the other day some guy was talking to a doctor, and he was saying, and we've spoken about this. My sister is a yoga teacher, and she lives here in town, and she is always talking about the benefits of nutrition. And one of our running jokes is the doctors never ask you what you've eaten, what your diet consists of.
Yeah.
They don't ask you how often you exercise. They don't ask. They're doctors of medicine. They want to prescribe you pills. They don't want you to, and I'm not saying every doctor, I'm just saying, but our running joke was that there's no, so you're not fixing the problem. What you're doing is you're putting a Band-Aid on on one of many wounds, and that's taking their mind off this. So this is a time to push a little bit of health into your diet, maybe add an exercise routine or something. This is that time.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
there's nothing better than feeling better. There's just nothing, if you can catch up on your sleep first, and then if you can add in a little something of nutritious value to and then you move on from there. But you can't. I used to say that they don't pour sugar in the tank of a race car. They don't. That's not gonna. We can't expect the same results by. And I'm guilty. I'm first in line for sugar.
Yeah.
I'm addicted. I've kicked everything bad for me in my life. I've been able to stop it with a certain amount of ease, but sugar, not so much.
Yeah.
And
I was over here just after Christmas, and I saw it was on that table in there, and you kept on piling it off on me like you're my dealer or something like that. And what I want to know is this: when is my next fix? Yeah. When is my next fix, Patrick? I need my fix.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to get you back to work so you can pay for it. So I can. Yeah.
But I think that is really good advice too, because as I know from my own experience, when you're faced with situations that you can't control, one thing that you always have control over, whether you may not feel like you do or not, you may not feel like you do, but you do have control over how much you eat, what you're drinking, whether or not you smoke, that type of thing. And I have found in the past, as in now, I know it's really, really tempting because I mentioned in the last show, I've been eating tons of ice cream, which I don't normally do since this thing started. I'm like, that looks pretty good right now. But when you do take control of your own health, that is at least something that you can maintain a grip on while this is going on. And at least that's one thing that's kind of helps me maintain my sanity, is knowing, that I've got that under control. At least that's something, that I've, anyway.
Yeah. It's a meme that I saw right when this thing was starting to go down, and it said, when this is over, I'll either lose 50 pounds or gain 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And that's true of a lot of people. It's like we tend to eat our emotions a lot, and when things are, when things are weird, we tend to eat maybe more sugar or more flour or whatever, and like you said, this is the time to pump the brakes and find out what's going to make you feel good, and maybe the right diet will make you feel just physically better.
Yeah,
and it's the beginning point of everything is your health. Nothing. You're not gonna accomplish what you need to accomplish when you're tired all the time, when you're physically exhausted because you're eating all the shit that's making you go back to bed. so nothing, there's nothing, unless you're a professional sleep study, patient, but even then they don't want to know what's happening in your head or in your body with 18 tons of crap in it. So it's it is I push it on my kids all the time. I go, out, go, go for a walk, go for a jog, go for a bike ride, just do something, and then, but catch 22. Now you're stuck in the house, and I walk past that fridge, God, all day.
It's easy,
and it's
it's right there.
And I think the challenge is finding a way to practice moderation, or at least establish a habit of moderating, as opposed to binging. You know, I wouldn't say stop eating sugar, everybody. While this is going on, you can't. You're going to go crazy. If you like it, I know some people don't eat it. You're weird if you don't eat it. But
weirdos.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's have the ice cream, have the ice cream. I mean, the beer, whatever it is, but don't just it's
eat a salad for God's sake.
Because it is going to be tempting to just I some kind of to relieve the stress as we already know. But I think that's where the lesson is really for all this. So it's probably not a good idea to restrict yourself, or I don't know.
This is the way.
Yeah, right.
I think I think we got to get back to playing rock and roll too, because you've got a very, very difficult job when it comes to keeping your stamina up. I mean, you've got to be on for the whole time, and you got to be on. We have to be in. And
are you questioning our performance?
Yes,
our performance ability.
No,
try eugenics. New eugenics in a bottle. Text 696969 to 696969.
That's
Just pay shipping and handling.
What is
Just handling.
eugenics? What is
Thank you to our sponsor, Eugenics.
What is that?
it's a guy named Eugene. He just
some
comes
kind of
over.
pill that Frank Thomas takes on TV.
Oh, is that one of those the testosterone boosting things or something?
I don't even know what it is. Frank Thomas takes it. Apparently, he can still hit home runs. So it works for him.
Home runs is not what you're thinking, kids. All right.
Let's go to first base.
Stay there.
Hey.
Yeah. So,
Well,
They do call the pitching mound a rubber, after all. So
one more time in English, please.
what?
what did you say?
They call the pitching mound. They stand on a rubber. Oh, there's your baseball analogy
Oh.
Yes.
for sex
Charging
for the day.
mound.
Yeah.
Overcharged them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is going out Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
and today is Tuesday.
It's raining.
No idea.
on
Is it
Tuesday.
raining? It is raining.
Raining like a motherfucker out there.
Wow.
Been pouring ever since right before I came over here.
Yeah.
Hey, I get to run out in the rain and get in my car.
Yeah. I saw Noah go by there a minute ago.
Noah,
Know it all.
that fucking guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's the one who killed the unicorns.
He didn't. Not what killed him, as he just left him.
He killed them. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
You didn't let them on the ark?
He didn't let them on the ark, motherfucker.
Yeah.
He let the snakes on. What a piece of shit.
He called him a couple of pricks, and
Dude,
off he goes. Yeah.
chieftains know. They know.
Yes. Green alligators.
Those fucking guys.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yes.
Are they still alive?
Chieftains?
Yeah.
Some of them.
Okay.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I think there's only three left.
Yeah. Pretty soon they'll call him just the chieftain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chief.
All right, this is totally off the subject, but that made me think of something.
Nothing is off the
Uh-oh.
subject.
When I'm putting the videos up on YouTube now, it's really interesting to see their content ID.
How many thumbs down we
algorithms.
get?
No, we get very few of those.
Well, very few. So you're saying we get some.
I haven't noticed any thumbs downs actually. I'm sure it'll start happening at some point once the viewership starts growing. It's just law of averages there. Silly.
Fucking
I
people.
don't even know why the thumbs down is there. They should just why you know. I don't know.
I know when you hit the thumbs up, it adds it to like your video history that you
Sure.
like that kind of shit. So-
Yeah, but the thumbs down, it doesn't help anybody really because most people just do that to be pricks.
Yeah, because most people are pricks.
Yeah, right.
We've already established that.
So it's just there as a reminder to see how prickish people are. But
Anyway.
So when I'm uploading, I've been cutting up the live stream recordings and putting them up as individual songs, and YouTube will catch. It's gotten better with this. It used to be if it was just a pre-recorded song, like sometimes I'd put up the entire performance for our Patreon people. I'd put up an entire set or something up there, and it would catch a little bit of the jukebox afterwards.
Yes.
Those songs would get ID'd.
Yes.
You know, and
Jukebox in the club that we're playing at.
exactly, yeah, the music in the background.
Yeah, just for this.
So, but now it's catching. It'll actually catch the melody of the songs we're playing if it's a cover song.
Yeah.
and that's cool because I know that we don't have to worry about anybody getting pissed off us. And it's the way it works now. There's a copyright strike and there's a copyright claim. If it's a strike, I think that's usually if there's somebody who's pissed off or a publishing company who doesn't want you to use that music. Period. It rarely happens anymore. At least I haven't seen it. It hasn't happened to us. But what happens, like Fisherman's Blues, for example, it caught that immediately and just put Waterboys whatever on there. So if that video ever gets monetized, that the money will go to them. Fine.
Excellent.
Cool.
So, but what's funny is that there's traditional songs that get hit too, and those are the ones I have to dispute because every time I put up a video of Rocky Road, it gets hit with a copyright claim from
Really?
some publisher in Australia, and it's clearly I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I think that this is all computerized, right? It's all automated.
Yeah, obviously.
So they have the catalog of all their artists in there. Some of them are doing covers of traditional songs, and so those melodies get scanned and put in there. And but it's just annoying because I have to do it every time. Rocky Road, I have to in order for him to release that.
Sure.
And it's kind of like going to court. Apparently, at least the way I understand it now is like when you file a dispute, the person whom you're disputing against has 30 days to contest it, and if they don't, it's just dropped. I think is how it works. But it happens every time.
Glad
with
one of us knows.
Rocky Road, every single time, the same people in Australia. And it happened on Big Strong Man too, which I thought was funny. That one, this was cool. I disputed it, and like within less than an hour, it was dropped. So somebody was on that, and it's probably the same. Whoever's managing that publishing company says, "Oh yeah, Big Strong Man," whatever. It's and they have no. I think it's just because it's all just automated. And some of them they just know. Oh yeah, I've seen that. That's okay. But at the Rocky Roads, I haven't gotten any. Whoever these people are, I haven't got response in that yet. I think it's gonna just drop. But I just annoy because I have to do it every time.
So Rocky Road, it's a traditional.
Public domain, correct.
It's a public domain song.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my question.
Yeah. And most of these songs too, they know how old it is from old broadsides and things like that. Rocky Road was written like in the 1800s.
Okay.
That's established fact. Big Strong Man is more of a mystery. Nobody knows where it came from or who wrote it, but the lyrics, at least we know, date from the 50s or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So where it's out of
those references.
So yeah, and again, to be clear, so what we're talking about now is obviously copyright and all that stuff. So so if you were to record a Human League song, and I say you, I mean Eric, because we wouldn't.
I'd be happy to. But you have to sing on it.
I'll sing. Yeah. Well, of course,
and play the guitar
I'm the only
riff.
one that can be tone deaf.
Of course.
So when you do that, and then you go on and you, because we saw it here with just some local people here, that rewriting the lyrics somewhat, changing the title, and then copying somebody's song and passing that off as their own. Right? We've seen that, and it's got and it gets caught now because the internet now has just shrunk. The whole world into the size of a pea. It's just so it's next to impossible to steal material now. Now, again, we've talked about this before, but comedy is another thing, and I think that's the worst because people can rewrite a joke and steal a joke, and I mean, plain as day, plain as a nose in your face, rip you off and change it just enough to, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
I feel for comics because those guys really do their work. They sit down and they toil over these jokes, and then you see them pop up in different, with different colors and different stuff on them.
Have you seen that Joe Rogan, Carlos Mencia?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Carlos Mencia.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's legendary.
Check that
man.
out if you can.
Yeah.
And again, that's when my admiration for Joe Rogan was born, because I'd seen him before and he's very smart, very, very, very smart, wonderful interviewer too. I mean, everybody could learn. Every podcaster could learn from that guy. What a talent! But he came onto my radar around that time because not only did I think Carlos Mencia was an awful comedian, an terrible performer, but that was all validation for me when that came out. I was and I love that. I love that whole thing. So check that out. Joe Rogan accusing Carlos Mencia on his. So I go back to the copywriting stuff. It's very difficult now to rip off a song and to pass it off as your own, especially when you're lazy about it too. It's even there. So, but what I didn't know was until we recorded standards is you can copyright your version of a traditional.
Yeah.
Meaning somebody can't go and redo your cover, your adaptation of that traditional number and say, well, it's traditional, so we're doing your, Right. They can't. And it was funny too, because we've toured the country so many times and we've played with so many different bands in this, in festivals and pubs and, anywhere you can play. We've seen our version of that song over and over and over again. And that's cool. I mean, it's not a thing where we're saying, hey, I don't care. I don't care. But at the same time, it's wonderful that these, when you sit in a room and like we did recently, we sat in, we rehearsed some of the acoustic stuff because we'd just taken this stuff out. And so to put some new stuff together, and we just for the first time, kind of sat in and rehearsed this stuff and just went through it. And this is how we're going to do it, and blah blah blah. But I think it's wonderful, and I think it's such a great time. There's to be an artist in that you can record your stuff and put your own spin on these old traditional numbers, and and then that be part of your catalog.
Yeah.
Versus, so I know we had that Rocky Road to Dublin. Yeah. That's a huge. It's a very strange time signature, and we've heard that it's 9/8. I don't know. I play by feel, so I don't know what 9/8 is. I couldn't. So
I'll have to. Yeah, maybe I'll sing it in my head.
Yeah, yeah.
It's something weird like that.
Yeah, but it's a strange. So it's easily recognizable. So if you're singing like a Clancy Brothers traditional number and you sing it, in the same key as them or whatever, the same, that might be picked up then as the computer will pick that up because the melody is the same. Lyrics are not, the lyrics that we do anyway they're completely original because nobody in their right mind would sing that.
Right.
I think that's extremely interesting. The fact that there's a way to, that there's a program or there's a bot or whatever it is that catches that stuff.
It's cool. I mean, it can be annoying, as I've already detailed. But there's obvious benefits to it. It needs some more refinement, obviously, because and doing covers, obviously the original songwriter and publishing, whoever owns the publishing to it, are entitled to their share. But we also, we're entitled to a share of it as well because we're actually performing it. So YouTube hasn't quite gotten that worked out yet. That needs to be automated as well. So I don't think all the money should go to the songwriters from the video. Obviously, we made the video, we're playing the song. Some of it should go to us for those songs. But anyway, at least as a start,
with permission from that's
yes.
Again, that's I think that's the main thing is you have to get permission. When we recorded Standards, Joe Omelchuk, who recorded us, he said, and he may have been being facetious, but he did say, well, you could just, Folsom and a couple of the other ones, he said, you could just be like some of these, if you're going to be a garage band, you're just going to sell them out of the back of your car. You can just tape them and sell them.
Yeah, because they don't police it. Right?
Exactly.
There's no...
Yeah. So we were not having any of that, meaning we're going to ask, we're going to call House of Cash and we're going to get permission and we're going to pay them their royalties because it was, we had no intention back in 2005 of ever trying to get something for nothing or to steal the, not steal, but it is theft. I mean, it is theft if you don't get permission and you sell them out of the back of your car. You're selling you're selling a song that's
well, and technically you don't. If you're just covering a song, there's two different kinds of licenses. And this is getting way technical, but there's a sync license and a mechanical license. And for just covering a song like we were doing, you don't necessarily need permission, but you need to get a license. They can't deny you the license to cover the song. If you're playing the song in a movie or a film, and I guess that's why YouTube is different because it's actual video. It's technically kind of a sync thing because you're on camera, I guess. That's a little different. I guess that's why they've got that worked out there. But yeah, there needs to be. Yeah, I think the direction they're going with it is cool because the songwriters do need to get paid, and I think that's a good thing. But it's not perfect either because I was thinking about this while you were talking about other stuff, but Fields of Athenry, for example, which I still think a lot of people think that's a traditional song.
Yeah.
It is not.
Yeah.
It was written by Pete St. John in 1979, popularized by Paddy Riley. But when I posted Prison Love Songs today, that went up on YouTube today from our last show, Prison Love Songs is our medley of Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash and Fields of Athenry. It got acclaim, which I was expecting it to. Surprisingly, not from Johnny Cash's publishers. I don't know why. I guess they're not on the ball with that stuff. But it got caught. Fields of Athenry got caught or got claimed by not Pete St. John's publisher, but by somebody who's done a derivative work for the version of the song that's played in the jungle and at the Celtic games. I forget what it's called. Fields of something. It's referring to the park that it was in. And I was like, okay, that's fine, because Pete St. John does get some of that money because he's still listed as a songwriter, but we're not singing that version. We're singing his version. You know, they shouldn't get any money from. So I was clicking through. They didn't have an option for me to explain that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to click one other option and explain to D's like, hey, we're not singing that version. And I know Pete St. John's original may not be in your system, but he wrote the song. So that's another story. It's still, I guess they're still working out the kinks in it.
The Kinks.
Speaking of which, I did upload our cover of the Kinks song this week too,
and nobody recognized it.
And that got accurately tagged or claimed on there, so that the Kinks are getting their share of that. So,
there you go.
Anyway,
so 3 people watched it, so that's so the Kinks actually owe money.
It's like almost nothing. I mean, the
Kinks are still in the red.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's one thing I've been learning this week. I've been getting more and more into YouTube.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah, and the numbers are coming up there. We're going to be able to live stream on there pretty soon.
Yeah. It should be cool. And at some point, whenever we decide we're comfortable with it, we can actually start live streaming this thing while we're recording it. I don't know.
Would you feel uncomfortable about that, Patrick?
I need somebody to
we know
nails.
We know how heavily this is edited.
Yeah.
Before it goes on to the
Well, I think what we should do is we should each drink a pot of coffee, run around the block, and then record it live. Do like set the timer, for 20 minutes, and we'll just do 20 minutes.
Okay.
That's how I'd like.
One thing we probably are going to have to start doing at some point is watching the language
Dressing
on
up.
YouTube. Huh?
Dressing up?
Dressing up, no. We may have to start censoring ourselves a little bit at some point.
God damn it. Fucking shit, cunt, fuck, piss.
This is okay because apparently the profanity matters more in the beginning of the video. And I've been trying to suss out what the YouTube people mean by that. But they say if you got to watch out for profanity in the beginning of the video, but I don't know what that means for a 90-minute video. Does that mean the first 5 minutes or the first?
Does that mean that the people at YouTube are only watching the first 5 minutes?
Yeah,
of the video?
That's what it means.
Okay, next.
Yeah, that is what it means. Because if you look at the stats for this video, the last video, any long form video that we have, you can see the viewership just it drops off.
Okay,
some people will watch it all the way through, but they're in the minority. But I think that's true with most YouTube videos because people just generally don't have that kind of attention span.
So we need to get some. Sorry,
don't touch.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
We need to get some sort of animation thing that will cover our mouths when we curse and make like a like a bike horn kind of sound.
We just need bike horns. We just do it ourselves.
Oh, we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Auga.
Yeah. So I am going to have to start doing that for some of the.
I guess we could watch her. I guess I could watch my language. I'm the one who swears the most. So.
Yes. We all do it.
No, we don't.
When's the last time you swore on this thing?
Last episode.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's my man right there. That's my boy. Hell yeah. We can say hell and damn though, right? It's probably
hell's fine, damn's
the
fine.
F word is probably the bad word.
It's I
don't
things you
remember
usually
us ever using that word.
Fuck no.
Speaking of which, I posted a video of John Lennon when he was tracking his vocals for "Gimme Some Truth," which is on the Imagine album, which I know you don't like. Do you know that song, "Gimme Some Truth"? Do you know the song?
Probably.
Yeah, it's a great song. It's kind of relevant right now. But there's this great thing where he's trying to do the vocal on it, and they keep stopping. They play a little bit. And he starts singing, and the track stops, and he goes, "Come on, you cunts!" He's just losing his temper on the film. It's funny.
Is Phil Spector in the studio now?
It was Phil Spector.
Oh my God! There's a great outtake of that where he's like playing the track and like they're kind of yelling at each other and John wants to sing the track.
Yeah.
And then the track stopped and he's like, what the fuck
Yeah,
is
it was from
going
that
on?
same set. This was a different song. That was when he was doing the backing vocals on Oh Yoko.
Yeah.
He really lost it there. He loses his temper a little bit here, but he kind of calms down. That was Sheliakis, was a very famous sound engineer, was mixing engineer, was running that. Very young Sheliakis. He went on to do. He engineered a lot of stuff. Tom Petty's. He worked with Tom Petty a lot. He was on Damn the Torpedoes. That one was probably one of the most famous records that he was on. But he's great because he's giving interviews online a lot. He was there for Dire Straits too. I was talking about that on a previous show when they did. What's the album that has Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah, His Brothers in Arms.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but he had a long story about how they mic'd and EQ'd and whatever the acoustic guitar or the dobro on.
Sounds exciting
on that record. Yeah, it is cool. But he's anyway. Yeah. How did I get on this?
Phil Spector. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole other story.
Is he still in jail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hal Blaine used to go visit him like once a week or once a month.
Oh, really?
And every time he said every time I go see him, he'd have another black eye or be missing a tooth. He's just getting his ass beat in prison all the fucking time.
Wow.
And he's an old man.
Yeah.
He's getting the shit kicked out of him.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, he is crazy.
He is crazy, yeah.
Well, there you go.
There was a story, I think, because he actually worked with the Ramones at some point. Is that right? I'm trying to remember where I heard this story. That he was threatening them in the studio with a gun at one point.
Probably.
Yeah.
He was known to carry a gun pretty much everywhere after the 60s.
Yeah. And John Lennon stopped working with him because he was kind of losing his mind in the 70s. There was a story where it was when he was doing the rock and roll covers album, which, by the way, is something that John had to do to settle a copyright dispute with Chuck Berry's publishers.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You told me that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he just decided to make a whole cover album to go with it. But he they got a little ways into the production of that album, and then Phil started losing his mind with these paranoid fits, where he took the tapes and ran off. And John Lennon spent a long time because the album release was delayed because John Lennon spent a long time trying to get the tapes back from him so he could finish it. So then he finished it on his own without Phil.
Yeah.
But
crazy.
It's insane. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. We should go see Phil now.
We should.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, we got nothing to do.
Yeah. He's not doing nothing. He's just sitting there getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Oh, we touched on this before, but he did the original version of Let It Be. Phil is the one who cut that together.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of funny because apart from Long and Winding Road, it's one of the more restrained production efforts of his. Obviously, because on that record, the Beatles are trying to keep it simple. The original idea was no overdubs or anything.
Yeah.
And then you and I were talking about the Beatles Naked or Let It Be Naked. That was sort of Paul McCartney's, sort of fixing Let It Be.
This is how it's supposed to sound, kind of a thing. Yeah.
And one of the best things about that is you get Long and Winding Road without all the
and you can actually
syrupy
hear
strings.
You can actually hear the ending piano lick, and then Ringo just gently taps the cymbal at the very end of the song.
Oh, nice.
Da 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 dee da 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 ding.
But one thing that's interesting about that, and a lot of people wouldn't know this unless you've listened to the bootleg versions of that record or seen the actual movie Let It Be. But Dig a Pony has some really interesting edits in it in the original version because on the album as we know it, it starts off with do 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 do, and it just goes into the first verse. It actually they're
copyright
when they played it. Yeah, now this is going to get. That'd be kind of funny if it did get nicked for that. The original version, as they rehearsed it and performed it, it starts off with "All I want is I." This really awkward thing, and it ends that way too. All I want is you, and so that when you hear at the end of the song, you hear Paul McCartney. Ooh, that's actually the end of that "you" thing.
Nice.
So they rightly just realized that edit. I don't know if it was Phil who made that decision, but in the original version they cut that part out. It's a really very very well executed edit at the beginning and the end of the song. And but I was curious when they announced Let It Be Naked. Are they going to go back to the original version of Dig a Pony? But they didn't. They kept that edit.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
You bored yet?
No, this is wonderful. Heroin's kicking in right
just
now.
the last thing about Phil Spector, they talk about his career and they talk about, I can't remember what his first big hit was. Anyway, and then basically, he basically created that whole idea of the wall of sound, and most of his records in the 60s sounded big. They just sounded like they were just these huge, enormous things. And they made a point to say that by the time his last single was River Deep, Mountain High with Tina Turner. And you listen to that song, and that song is epic. I mean, I hate to use that word, but it's like, it's so big sounding. But by the time that song came out, people are like, we're done with that sound. What else you got?
Yeah.
Thing, so it's kind of like, I think, he started here and he ended here, but it basically like, kind of peaked with everything. And then all of a sudden it was just like, we're bored with that. What else? What else is new? And that was the end. And that was the end of the 60s too.
Yeah.
So maybe by the time he got to Let It Be, he was just like, well, River Deep wasn't that big of a hit as I want it to be. So maybe I'll approach this record with more of a subdued, sedate, touch.
The thing I would want to credit him for more than anything was the influence he had on other people. Not just people he worked with, but Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys was tremendously just in awe of Phil back then. And the Beatles too. The Beatles covered his. I don't know if it was his first hit, but he wrote or co-wrote "To Know Her Is to Love Her," which the Beatles covered as "To Know Him Is to Love Him." They covered it as "To Know Her Is to Love Her."
Yeah,
which is the Beatles version of that is just gorgeous. And you can only hear that on I think the BBC. They never actually put it on a record, but there's a version.
Well, I mean, the shit that he pulled off in the studio influenced probably anybody that heard that music or was living at that time too. Like especially all this Wrecking Crew guys, and then that inspired the next wave of studio guys that were coming in, and the next wave, and then people making records. Obviously, they may not make their records sound like that, but they would definitely pull techniques and different echo effects and layering parts and stuff like that. Like the idea of having an electric bass plus an upright bass play the pattern, or having whatever, having just okay, take 2 on the guitar, take 3, take 4, take 5, and it's just 5 guitars layered doing the same exact thing to make it sound huge.
Right.
So
his
influence is minus the shooting stuff. His influence is pretty yeah.
Oh yeah.
The shooting stuff's still pretty good.
Well, especially around here.
Yeah,
especially in Texas.
Anyway, who's off the top of your head, who would you say is like one of your favorite producers?
I mean, I always go with Martin Birch just because everything that I was sonically invested in, anything that I would stare into the album sleeve and then listen to just he had, you knew who it was the second the record came on. Sure. You knew who was mixing it. You knew, just so. I mean, and again, all my stuff is. I heard all the Beatles stuff. I heard all the Phil Spector stuff. I knew all the Tina Turner stuff as well. I don't know. It must have been my sisters. But again, it was all in passing. But when I started to figure out how not figure out how they did it, but the sound that I liked, I was on Martin Birch, and it was just.
And who did you produce? Martin Birch?
Maiden, all the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
the early, like all the 80s stuff.
Yeah. The nice thing about Maiden is they just stuck to their guns, and they did the same. But the albums sonically improved every single time with the same guy. An AC/DC record would sound exactly the same. Power Age, and all those ones back then would sound kind of similar, but then then once they kind of stepped into the Back in Black, and for those that were about to rock, the live.
Well, those are Mutt Lange, I think, right?
Yeah,
Mutt Lange did
Mutt Lange, yeah.
Mutt Lange and
Back
in Black, and
as soon as he took over, then everything became polished and so. So I mean, my stuff is very. I never on the Dire Straits stuff and all the stuff that was really rich in texture and different instrumentation and whatnot. There'd be a horn. There'd be the Mel Collins and saxophone on the Dire Straits records, and whoa, that's a whole new area of music that I wasn't, because we deal in 2 guitars, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was so that's when and again I saw the Phil Spector. I saw the documentaries and whatnot on him, and people like John Lennon talking about him, and Al Pacino portraying him in whatever goofy movie that was.
Oh, what was that? What was that movie?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Is this a recent thing?
A few years back.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I need to
Al
look it
Pacino, you probably haven't heard of him. He's an actor. He's pretty.
the short guy.
Yeah.
Italian, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Very, but just another wonderful role where he disappears into that character, and then you see a picture of Phil Spector, and you go, I don't remember him looking. Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
But I'm glad we got out of the COVID-19.
We can talk about some music for a second.
Yeah.
What would you say? Todd Rungren, did you say?
Oof. Well, definitely, George Martin.
Yeah.
Definitely. Todd, definitely, I think is a great producer. Mac is a great producer. Mac's produced some crazy records. He did Queen's The Game. He did Black Sabbath's Dehumanizer. He did one of the Tin Machine records, I think.
Which
Mac?
Mac? That's just
Reinhold Mac, I think, is his first name. He just goes by Mac.
That's good. Yeah.
M-A-C-K, a German guy.
I should know the Tin Machine producers. I don't.
I think I forget which one he did. I think he might have done Tin Machine 2, I think. Todd, yeah. And the thing about Todd is it's not only is he a great producer, but I mean, just the breadth of his work is very diverse.
Yeah.
Everything from putting that first Meatloaf record together to doing Grand Funk to doing, XTC and everyone in between kind of a thing. So tyrannical, but I mean, he gets the best sounds and the best performances out of his people.
So we were talking about his work with XTC, which is kind of legendary now because he and Andy Partridge did not get along.
Yeah, and Todd said, "Oh yeah, it was challenging, but we got through it and we had a good time."
Yeah,
and Andy's like, "No, we didn't."
Well, actually, at least the 2 things I saw, that Andy is like sort of doesn't seem like he's bitter about it anymore.
He was for a while.
I'm sure he was. Yeah, at least the recent interviews I saw, he was like, "Yeah, let's go. Yeah, we didn't get along so well because I don't take direction." He willfully admits that he does not take direction very well, or at all.
Sounds familiar.
Right. But then there was an interview. I think it was with Mark. It was on the Mark Maron podcast, Todd Rungren, a few years ago, and they got into XTC towards the end of the show, and he's very bitter.
Todd's still bitter about it.
About at least in that interview, he was just throwing a lot of barbs at Andy. He's like, "Man, guy's a prick," and a lot of it had to do with this thing that came out in the early 2000s, I think, where they put another version of Skylarking out, the record that Todd produced with XTC, where they claimed that they discovered that the polarity was off in the...
What does that even mean?
I know. And Todd said it was just total bullshit. Like he says, like if that's a problem, then it didn't have anything to do with me, because they had to... The thing with that record was they had it all done, and then they... I think it was the record label, or their manager or somebody, I think it was a record label, convinced Andy to take Dear God off of the album because they were afraid of the controversy it would make, and replace it with this other crappy song that
they were afraid it wouldn't sell in America.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Todd says they made me put Another Satellite, which Todd hated, on there. And in this interview he says he calls it a stupid song, Another Satellite. Oh, stupid song. And so then they put out Dear God as a B-side. To forget what the A-side was, Grass probably. And then people were playing that as the A-side when it was really the B-side. So then they had to put it back on the record. And so then at some point, whenever they had to remaster the record because of that, Todd wasn't involved in the remastering of it, whatever that was. So that's what he said. If it's real, I said, I think it's total bullshit, but if it's real, it had to do with somebody else. But anyway,
I think I remember hearing about that. They pulled it off the first pressing because they were afraid it wouldn't sell in America because America has this love of God apparently. And then all of a sudden, the DJs were started to play it because it was a better song, or they liked the song better, or whatever.
Right.
And then "Dear God" became a hit, so they had to put it back on the, like you said, back on the record. And then because the version that I have, the CD that I have has Another Satellite and "Dear God" on it, and "Dear God's" the second to last track.
Right. I think originally
it
was
before Sacrificial Bonfire.
It was in a different It was in a different order. I think originally "Dear God" was at probably where Another Satellite is, I guess, in the running order, the original running order of the record. So that lost. Apparently, there's no version of the record that has it in its original running order. Anyway, but yeah.
Anyway,
okay,
Todd, Mac, but check out Mac's stuff.
Yeah,
I kind of think that Martin Birch has something to do with one of the two Dio Black Sabbath records.
Possibly. I know he did.
Maybe Mob Rules. I think he might be on that as an engineer or a co-producer. Because I've seen his. I'll have to goggle it, but
goggle it.
Put your goggles on.
Yeah,
like we're going in to the internet. But I've seen his name, and maybe I'm just making that up. But I'll double check.
Yeah, I know that he was miffed that they didn't ask him to do the earlier Maiden records because they thought that because he was doing Deep Purple and all that he couldn't. That they couldn't afford him or whatnot. And he said, no, I would love to. In retrospect, now everybody would have wanted him to do the early.
Sure.
And we also talked about, modern day, if Elvis was alive, having Elvis do like a Rick Rubin record with,
oh my God,
with that stripped down, that's really when I fell in love with Johnny Cash, was when I got to hear those records and hear how upfront Rick Rubin had not really truly stripped it down, but then also been able to put, Tom Petty and the lads behind him. And
that's one of the most amazing. I need to go and listen to the whole album again, but it's so, that's one of the cool things about that record is that they were just his backing band. You can definitely pick out Tom's backing vocals in some of it, but they were just, they kind of faded into the background and it just lifted Johnny up. And I just thought that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a
testament to them as a band.
Yes.
Too.
Yes. Again, you know who it is, you know who you're dealing with, but at the same time, it was done so well that it was just Johnny Cash. It was just you in a room with Johnny Cash, especially you get to listen to it on an LP and unobstructed sound and nothing going, just look into the soul of that record.
And that's a credit to Rick Rubin as a producer, how he's grown from Beastie Boys and working with the Beastie Boys and Run DMC and Aerosmith and that kind of 80s kind of weird rap rock stuff. And now he can produce a beautiful, not that those records aren't beautiful in their own way, I guess, but being able to produce stuff like the Johnny Cash stuch and which are amazing records.
We were so taken by that concept. It was nearly suffering the loss of Elvis again when you realize that there was the possibility of a record like that where he could just sing, not singing about fucking salad or what I mean, like just getting into just him, his roots, and getting him to sing and pushing that to the forefront and having that as
well, not to. This is not a one-upmanship, but that record that I just got, the Elvis from the 68 comeback special, when it's just those guys on the stage doing sort of, it's not the same thing as Rick producing it, but it's four sides of Elvis being Elvis. And that's probably the last time that ever happened, when he could just sit around with his buddies and play acoustic guitar and sing. You know? So, and that record's powerful too.
Yes, it is.
It's an excellent record.
If I Can Dream, is that the...
Well, that's I think they put that on the end of the record, but the rest of it is just when they're sitting around the stage.
Oh,
and DJ's playing drumsticks on the guitar case.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Scotty Moore is there playing guitar, and what do you want to sing, Elvis? He's like, oh, let's do this one. He just starts playing, and they all jump into it.
Yeah.
But we think, because if you watch the special, you think it's like 4 or 5 songs. It's like 20 songs that they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
I saw a video about that recently, and I had never was aware that this was a controversy, but apparently there are some naysayers online who thought that, because I forget what song it is, but Elvis he starts playing it on acoustic, and he does this kind of blues riff that runs into it, and apparently there's some people who thought that he was faking it, that he wasn't actually playing that guitar. And this on YouTube, this guy zooms in on a guitar and plays and split screen, so he's actually playing the same riff. So look, this is maybe you're confused about how he's voicing or where he's actually playing it, but he proves that like Elvis actually is playing the guitar here.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be Elvis Presley and not know how to play the fucking guitar.
Yeah,
but people don't understand how rhythmically brilliant Elvis was.
He was an arranger, yeah, too.
Also that, but I mean, if you watch the Vegas years, as torturous as some of those songs are, just because the bubblegum coating or the candy covered arrangements that were given, but when you watch his performance and what I think one of the greatest things about him was not his voice, was his rhythm and his ability to phrase those these are, again, you got 3 minutes to tell your story. Well, actually 2 minutes to tell your story, and to be able to grab people that quickly and of course have that effect on an audience, I tell you something, you probably didn't notice this, but I watched those tapes. Not one person on their phone. The whole. He did it again. So, but yeah, just the rhythm. That's in my later years. I realized how brilliant a timekeeper he was, and and again, those guys in the studio weren't working with all the way back to Bill Black. They weren't working with a metronome. So
they were the metronome.
Yeah. So you got to keep that down, and it's beautiful. Set a, which I haven't done, but I mean, I imagine you set a metronome to it, you'd be pretty amazed at how, and especially because those songs were, well, and then to have it finish on that, being a but it would still kind of line up. I mean, because it's those records were they're freeform essentially, and as precise as you're gonna find, with that.
Yeah,
I just think it's brilliant.
Yeah, they were an amazing band, and it's great to see. Getting back to the Beatles again, the interviews that they did. Did you ever watch the anthology, the Beatles anthology, the documentary?
I watched it a long time ago. Yeah.
There's we're Ringo and Paul and George are sitting around a table and talking, and they get into talking about Elvis at one point, and George is, upfront about the fact that I don't think any of them were really big fans of Elvis's later period, because they grew up obviously on the Sun Records stuff, right?
Yeah,
and that's what they covered. That's
right. But and George actually got to meet Elvis. Well, they met us a couple times actually. They all went to his house famously when they were young. But then Elvis went to go see him play in Vegas or somewhere, and met him backstage or something. And talked about how Elvis, with his gold stuff on, looked like it was Lord Vishnu coming to shake his hand. But he wasn't a big fan of all the backing singers and all that stuff too. But he in that same breath, he had to hand it to the rhythm section of the band. He was like, they're really good.
With James Burton on guitar and Ron Todd on drums. Jesus Christ.
That's who he says. Yeah, he said Ronnie Todd and James Burton.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
And some of the tempos they played some of that shit at,
it
was ridiculous.
Yes.
And how tight those guys were.
Yeah.
The testament to how strong that band was.
Yeah. Jerry Sheff was a bass player during most of that period. Not the entire period, but most of that stuff. Most of the bass playing you hear in some of that Hunk of Burning Love. The do.
Yeah.
That's Jerry Sheff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find that documentary that I was talking about on Amazon? The Elvis one?
I haven't sat down to look at the TV.
Well,
no, that's not true. I did find it, and I couldn't see it for some reason. There was another couple of things that came up. I need to really
watch it if you can. What is it called? Promise? No, something. Promise? Something like that. I remember I told you the wrong title, and I found it. I was like, oh no, it's called this. Anyway, it's a great 2-part documentary on I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's about Elvis. It's so good and so terrible because
Yes.
we all know how it
Because
ends.
it's
So
just sad. Yeah.
you're right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So without using up all YouTube's hours and time, I think we should draw this one to a close.
Yeah.
Yeah, our viewership has gone like that.
I know.
Like an hour.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
the 2 people who are still watching right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. And we'll see you again very soon. Is there anything else we want to say?
just also to take you back to bring you back down again real quick. Just if you can help out these people that are doing they're doing the
Elvis.
are we all doing
Look at Elvis mugs.
Elvis is on my mug. Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse my language. Sorry, YouTube.
just do what you can, help out these, you see your person bringing them, bringing the mail. If if you gotta, just give them some cash or something, or do what you can. These people are just, they deserve our thanks. And, we don't deserve you. You've been so generous to us, and thank you. And, I hope you have seen our acoustic show we did last Sunday, and we're just ecstatic to bring you some new stuff and take your requests. And thank you for, like we said, thank you for listening. And be safe, be nice, wash your hands, and we hope to see you at a fucking club very, very soon. Enough of this crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well said.
And
Indeed.
Thanks for taping this. And
Yeah.
Thanks, Chad, for setting all this stuff
Thank
up.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
and thanks,
fun.
Elvis, for...
Yes. That's it.
Thank Elvis every day.
Yeah.
Should.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We'll see you guys next
See you
week.
guys.